What's up, YouTube? Um, in today's topic, I'm gonna talk about reasons why I feel like we do not have free will in this life, and just the painful of going through spiritual connections when it comes to soul contracts that are out of your control when you're dealing with people when it comes to connections, and it's dealing with heartbreak and just like very intense connections. I'm not talking about connections that are like what the average person experience. I'm talking about deep soul connections. Many people don't actually experience in this lifetime soul connections. I've experienced this a lot to where I can make videos about it. I've experienced this shit a lot, but I feel like I realize that like sometimes people, like most people, they can't really relate to me or other people, because I've realized that only some people in this lifetime actually experience actual fucking like deep fucking soul connections. It's very spiritual, and when you are experiencing soul connections or spiritual connections, then you basically have a very like spiritual life mission in a way that involves healing, most likely healing trauma and generational curses that God or the universe wanted you to experience. As fucked up as that may sound, people, most people, in spirituality, a lot of people talk about things that they don't really understand or know what they're talking about. They got it from other people that they don't know what they're talking about. So it's an ongoing theme where I'm sure you guys hear about, so like breaking generational curses or narcissism and and breakups. I know I see this a lot on YouTube, and like I feel like most people who talk about these things, they don't know what they're talking about, and they're just getting off of mainstream, because most people, they're just like to copy, or they like to use those terms and words based on the age we're in. But with my content, and I do share content as well. So part of my YouTube channel, I actually share a lot of, if you actually like pay attention to my channel, if you go to my community, I actually post a lot of videos that that talk about really like real valuable shit that not too many people know when it comes to spirituality. So if you go on my community, you can see that I post a lot of other people's channels and videos, not because I'm trying to be their friends or be known by them. No, but I post it because that's the type of shit I watch, and I genuinely post it and share it because it's very valuable information that's very like, what's the word, um not foreign, but very taboo, pretty much, that not too many people experience. But when people do experience it, they don't understand what's going on. I've been in those situations, and I still am to a certain extent, to where when I'm experiencing spiritual like phenomena, like connections like those, or the spiritual experiences like narcissism, narcissistic abuse, just a lot of spiritual connections like soul contracts, like feeling the person's energy, this spiritual phenomena, just some crazy shit like that that defies logic, and a lot of energy at play, a lot of like, I can't find the right words, but it's some spiritual shit. And like, I don't know where I'm getting at, but like that's one of the reasons why I even have a YouTube channel, so I could talk about shit like that. Not just with that, but with any topics. But so, but yeah, so let's get to it. Um don't mind me if you see a lot of trash or mess in my car. I'm in the process of getting out of the military, and so I'm really excited about that. So I'm constantly packing and unpacking. So my stuff is probably all over the place. I'm not always messy like that, but I'm just so busy, been packing and unpacking and just throwing stuff I don't need away, and just, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very huge transition that I'm experiencing in my life, and I'm very excited. I feel like me getting out of the military is like a big thing, because I feel like I'm very thankful for the military. I'm very grateful for it, because I feel like the military did in fact save my life in a way, because I had before I joined, like I was in a I was in a place area with no opportunity. It's hard to find a work. My family didn't really support me. Yes, I had a roof over my head, but like emotionally, they were very abusive, very narcissistic. A lot of verbal and physical fights. It wasn't healthy for me. Very chaotic, very dysfunctional, and they wouldn't like. They're the type of family where like they'll shit on you, and like they'll think that like they'll use their resources and their finances against you, because, and they're also the types of people where they don't set you up to excel at life because they're too dumb. Because like my parents, like my family, like they never taught me how to drive a car. They never gave me a car like most people. They never taught me about finances. They never taught me about life situations. I had a father, but my father and my mother divorced, so like I had a stepfather, but like none of them had taught me shit, and they were emotionally unavailable, so they weren't even there. Like they might as well be absent because they've done nothing. The only thing they've done was put food on the table and put a roof over my head. And people may say, oh, well, you should be grateful for that. Nah, like the reason why they're doing that shit is because they had no choice. Because in a society, you're forced to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But people want to justify that shit and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So yeah, so fuck my family. I haven't talked to them in like many years. I block all of them. I don't respect them. And there are times where they will like follow me on social media or try to call me. And when they do it, I'll just cuss them out and threaten them to leave me the fuck alone, or I'm gonna fuck them up a couple times. And but yeah, but so far I've cut all contact with them. I want nothing to do with them. They're very, very evil. And this reverts back to what I said before, like the universe or God, they're gonna if you're experiencing spiritual connections, if you're watching this video, it's very a few people who actually experience this, but more than likely, even people who resonate with my channel, people who resonate with me, you're very rare, like you are, because not too many people, my subscribers, my viewers, they don't really relate to me in that way. They're just watching it for whatever reason. But people who do, if people even out there even exist, but if they are at my wavelength and they are experiencing what I'm experiencing, then or they have similar life experience as me, then you will know that my videos are for you, because the shit I'm talking about makes fucking sense. I'm starting to break this shit down because I've experienced a lot of confusion, a lot of trial and error, and I just need answers. So but yeah, so like I said, if you're on a healing journey, or if you're on a spiritual journey, then more likely, or if you're even my fucking part of my soul tribe, then yeah, you're gonna go through like family abuse, family trauma, and then it comes to relationships, and you go through relationship trauma and just breaking generational curses and trauma and all this bullshit that God or the universe or life is just throwing at you. Like you have the awareness, you have the knowledge, you are like you have everything you need to attract the type of life you want. But with this life is that I've realized that it is my opinion, but I thought we don't have free will like that. Whether we've done something in a past life or certain lessons we gotta learn. The reason why I did that because I feel like all this bullshit is just the universe or God for whatever reasons just wants us to put us into that situation of a lot of bullshit and trauma and heartache and abuse just for the experience of it. I don't know if it's a part of the rules and regulations of this realm, of this reality, or God just likes to do that shit just because, you know. People may say, oh, like trauma and hardships will only make you a better person and a lot of blessings will open up. I get what they're saying to a certain extent, and I don't like saying agree, because when I agree it, then that pretty much it kind of gives your power away, knowing that God or the universe is like they're like who the fuck wants to experience being abused? Who wants to experience going through trauma? Who wants to experience going through heartache? No one wants to experience that shit. So it's very fucked up how God or the universe, they want you to go through that shit just so you can heal bloodlines, even though the main reasons why there's even trauma and why people are even healing generational trauma in the first place in this lifetime is the fact that God or the universe themselves allowed this reality in this realm to allow corruption and a lot of evilness and a lot of covert like narcissism to create and cause a lot of trauma within the collective. You know, look at the society we're living in. You know, people are slaves pretty much. We're slaves to money. Like people are like, we're slaves to this world. We're not really living life. That's why a lot of people are damaged. A lot of people aren't happy. A lot of people are miserable. Everything is about, oh, money, gotta chase this, gotta chase that. Like it's all about the grind. Like, nah, like life doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't. But because we live in such a low timeline, it's normalized. It's not normal, but it's hard for us because we were born into this shit. And this reverts back to my belief systems, why I believe God and the universe, they are responsible for this shit to a certain extent. So now they want certain people to go through abuse and trauma so they can have that spiritual awareness so they can share it. And then it's like a domino effect for the collective to have a higher awareness, which maybe that's what the universe or God is doing, but like that's not gonna go anywhere. And even if it does go anywhere, like there's other ways to counteract that. If their intent is to make this world a better place by a higher vibration or less corruption, it's just all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is though. But basically, yeah. So if you're going through spiritual connections and like if you're going through breakups and like if you're feeling this person's energy and you can't get them off your mind and you feel a lot of heart pain and like it's very painful, that's a sign that's probably you dealing with the past life connection, or you healing generational trauma, or there's a lot of karmic blockages, or there's a lot of trauma in this lifetime that God orchestrated family members or other people to abuse you. So now you got a lot of trauma. So and now you got to heal from this. That's why the connections you're dealing with romantically are so painful. I'm using my life for example. So I have my family, they're very extremely emotionally unavailable, right? Especially my mother. My mother, I don't respect her the most. She's very narcissistic, and astrology even confirms that shit, because apparently if you have a lot of Scorpio placements, or if you have a Scorpio moon especially, that dictates that your mother will really traumatize you, and that mother is not a good mother. And me, I have a Scorpio rising, moon, and Mars. So go figure, right? So, and I don't respect my mother at all. Like, she's the first narcissistic person, first bully that I've met, honestly. Like, very, very emotionally closed off, very manipulative, very narcissistic, very evil. So, and now I've noticed all my romantic relationships, all that shit involves in me attracting women who are very emotionally unavailable. And that's very painful, because me not knowing this, like I've thought, is it am I the issue? Am I the problem? What's wrong with me? And I'll book countless tarot readings to find clarity and closure. I've done a lot of research trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and I realized I know it's not me. There's many reasons. One, I'm dealing with emotionally closed off people, emotionally closed off women. When it comes to connections, they're not going to give you clarity. They're not going to give you closure. They're not going to take accountability. They're not going to, it's going to be easy for them to ghost you and to discard you and to not give you closure. And that's very painful. Like, imagine loving someone and this person loving you, but they don't have the tools to connect with themselves emotionally. So therefore, it's easy for them to disconnect from you, from themselves, from the connection, and from everything. So now you're left hanging, and they'll use minor excuses on why they don't want to be with you. It's fucked up. And now you're left years of confusion, anger, resentment, wanting revenge. Like, there's nothing you could do about it. I mean, I've experienced this shit a lot. So this shit will drive you crazy. And but the difference between, but like, revert back to the beginning of my video, the reason why I'm talking about this spiritual connection, because what I've realized that what God or the universe will do is that assign you're experiencing a soul contract, or like a fucking trauma bond or a soul connection, is when you feel this person's energy, even though you two aren't physically there or you two aren't talking, but yet you feel this person's energy 24/7. You can't get this person off your mind. Your nervous system overstimulates and stuff like that, or you even see signs and symbols like their names, or like in social media you see people that will look like them. Now, people who haven't experienced what I've experienced, or haven't experienced spiritual connections in general, they're gonna look at this and be like, you're making all this up on your own, you're just obsessed, you're just crazy. People, they're gonna say that. But like I said, part of my video, my channel is very unique. I have a lot of unique life experiences, so my channel is only for people that was able to resonate with me. But yeah, so imagine dealing with someone that's emotionally unavailable, but now when you're trying to detach, and me, I have all the answers, I have all the tools to heal, I have all the information, but it's such a struggle because you're dealing with the soul connection. I even heard that you can learn all the lessons and break free from that connection, but if the person you're connected to, if they're not learning the lessons themselves, if they're not grasping the lesson, then they can keep you stuck. So that's why you can't get it. So that's why you can't detach from that person. And once I heard that shit got me so pissed off, and it made so much sense, because all my connections, where I feel like I've done everything in my power, but I can't detach. It's more than likely because these people, again, they're all women that aren't emotionally unavailable. Since they have a huge disconnect within themselves, they don't get themselves closure, and they ghost a lot of people, and they ghost themselves. They can't process shit because they're emotionally very avoidant. What makes you think they're gonna heal within this connection? And of course, it's gonna keep you stuck. So that makes so much sense. Probably not all the time, but I feel like at certain instances that did happen. And when I watched tarot readings and shit like that, it kind of confirmed it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't watch any random tarot readings. I watch a specific tarot reader that I trust, and she's 10 times out of 10 accurate what the fuck he's talking about. I'm not like most people. They don't know how to navigate spirituality, and then they'll make up bullshit based on their own opinion, or they'll downplay it, or like it's just some weird shit that people. I mean, I could tell like when people they don't have a spiritual life, or they haven't had a spiritual experience for someone who actually has. So, but yeah, that's one reason why I made my channel. But yeah, so I've experienced this phenomenon, this cycle so many times, and it's not easy. It's very not easy. So I'm starting to think like, because I don't think, yes, it is a trauma bond. Yes, it's traumatic reenactment, but at the same time, it's like when does it stop? Because why is it that I have the more awareness than the average person, but the people that have less awareness as me, they seem to be in very healthy connections? Or maybe they're not behind closed doors, but I don't know. It's just like, what the fuck? So I have a lot of awareness, and the woman that I was connected to in the past, fast forward, like while I was stuck on them, I was grieving, a lot of crying. I was praying to God so many times for me to detach. Like, it was awful. A lot of physical pain, sleepless nights and stuff like that. Honestly, they could. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah. So, but then I fast forward and I look back with these people, and I'm not even attracted to them. I don't want to even connect with them. It's easy for me to detach from them. So one, that's part of me doing the healing work, but two, that's God or the universe eliminating that soul contract. So now I don't feel these people's energy. I don't feel their pain, their emotions on me. So there's some weird bullshit that's what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm currently experiencing this shit with another person. Now the answers and the knowledge I have, so I know how to detach. I know what's going on. I know the spiritual lesson. But it's because I know all those things, it still makes it hard for me to detach from that person. Why? It's because I feel this person's energy, I feel this person's emotions, and I can't get this person off my mind. And it's very painful as well. Especially, like I said, that person's emotionally avoided. I've done so much shit to have this to gain clarity or accountability or some type of closure from this person, but because this person is emotionally avoidant, just like my past exes and romantic partners, this person refused to give me closure and accountability and acknowledgement. And I'm aware of this because I know this person is very predictable, because I've investigated and observed the previous other partners that I have to dealt with out of my control. So it's the same fucking cycle repeating. And the reason why the universe or God does this shit is because so you can heal your generational trauma, this lifetime's trauma, so you can attract a better romantic relationship. Now that's what it is according to the rules and regulations of this reality, of what these tarot readers say. But from my own experiences, yes, I agree with it, but at the same time, is like me, I could attract a loving, high vibrational partner right now. I'm ready right now. But the thing is, God or the universe, for some reason, they don't want me to experience this shit right now. They want me to experience the low of the low right now. You know, it's not because of my vibration. It's not because, yes, I do have certain trauma, but I could counteract that because I have the knowledge and information, and I'm going to do the healing work and shadow work. I'm willing to face myself and figure out what the fuck is going on. But this where I'm getting at with like soul contracts, or like we don't have free will like that, because the universe or God, they'll forcefully make you experience certain things out of your control just for the fuck of it, and who the fuck knows why. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So growing up, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize like we don't have free will in life. And again, other people may have free will, but I'm talking about at least for my life, that I feel like I don't have free will, and I don't have as much control over my life as I think as I thought I did. And there's a lot of, I've experienced so much like fate and so much destiny events and situations, and life doesn't feel like life. It feels like a fucking video game where someone's controlling it, if that makes sense, because I've experienced physical symptoms confirming that this shit's out of my control, you know? So it's very painful and it's not easy. Like I said, I don't know if it's because it's breaking generational curses, or healing the collective trauma, or like experiencing the collective trauma, so later down the road I can help the collective or guide them in some way. So it's just a lot of dumb shit like this. Even though God or the universe, they basically orchestrate all this shit in the first place. But that's the thing most spiritualists won't talk about for some reason. So that's all I gotta say. Have a good one. Peace.